Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be walking you guys actually through a whiteboard demonstration where I'm going to talk about investing 101. I've been getting a lot of questions with people like, hey Lewis, I'm ready to start investing. I've got my debt paid off, but what do I do now? I want to start investing. I know I hear all the time about how I can get my money to work for me and how I can get my money to grow for me. So what I've done is I figured I can just do a quick video to walk you guys through some steps that you guys can do to get started with investing, because I know for me personally, this was a big thing for me as well. Once I get my debt paid off and I started saving, I got my emergency fund saved up, and I was like, okay, where do I start with getting my money to work for me? So I'm gonna walk you guys through some steps that I've personally taken and that I'm currently doing right now, and what you can do as well. Just kind of the order of kind of like some simple investing tips that you can do to get started. So the first thing that you want to do is I would start a if you have so this is the first thing to start. So if you have an employer and your employer offers a 401k, so you want to start investing in your 401k. So if you already have, but this is the catch. So if you have a 401k set up and your employer offers it, you want to make sure at minimum that you're putting in the match, because that's free money. So whatever the match is, you want to go up at least into that. So if your employer does a 6% match, then you want to make sure at least that you're putting 6% of your paycheck, your income, into that 401k. Again, that is free money that you get. So you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that. So 401k, and then you want to do at least up to the match. So again, so if that's 6%, you want to make sure you're at least doing that. The next thing you want to do is after you've got your 6%, again, like a good rule for investing too, you want to invest around like 15 to 20% of your income. You could totally do more depending on your lifestyle, depending on how much money you have coming in. I do more than that just because the percentage of my income that it takes for me to live, I make more that outweighs it. Not to brag or anything, but that's just how I do mine, because I like to save and I want to invest a lot of money as possible, because I kind of got a late start because I was wasting a lot of money paying off debt. So, all right, so number one is 401k. Two, after you do your 401k and you have money left over, then you want to set up a Roth IRA. So basically a Roth IRA is basically a collection of index and dividend funds that you have set up where you invest your money. So you can do typical, based on your age range and where you're at, you can do a more aggressive allocation. So you could do something like for me, I'm younger, so I'm going very aggressive right now. So I have 90% stock, and then I have 10% bonds. And through that, I have it broken down into several different types of index funds in there, but just not to get too granular. I'll do another video on that, my exact plan of kind of have my index funds broken down. But I do 90% stock, 10% bonds. I do the stock because they're a little bit more aggressive than bonds. They're low risk, low reward, and stocks are a little bit higher risk and a higher reward. So you want to have a good balance in there, and you want to have the bonds in there just in case your stocks aren't, or your index funds aren't producing, or if they down, to kind of balance it out. But I'll go through the exact allocation of how I set that up. I actually have it broken down a little bit more into that, but I'll do another video on that. But anyway, you want to go into and set up your Roth IRA. So with that, depending on your income, I think the limit may be like $135,000 whatever a year or whatever. There is something called a backdoor IRA where you can look up if you are high income producing, that is legal, that you can put in again, but you want to check with your financial advisor on that, where you can still go into a Roth IRA. But the limit for the Roth IRA contributions, I believe for this year is $6,000. So you can only put that in a calendar year. Cool thing about the Roth IRA, you should put, if you have the money left over, you should put the $6,000 in there, because the cool thing about the Roth IRA is that it is, money that you've paid, that you've already paid taxes on. So you don't get taxed on this money here with the Roth IRA. So it's basically free money, as long as you don't pull that money out before 59 and a half or before retirement. So the thing is, you can put the $6,000 in there, let it build up interest, let it build up capital, and it's tax-free money. Again, you don't get taxed on it. You will get heavily penalized if you pull it out before before retirement age, but you put that money in there, let it grow, put it in there every year, max it out as much as possible. After that, again, so let's go to number one. If you hit the 401k, you got your match all the way up to your match. And then after that, you got your Roth IRA. And then you max it out to 6,000. If you still have money left over and you want to invest, the next thing I would do is number 3 on here. This is where I would go into more of kind of what I was kind of hitting on with the Roth IRA. I would go into setting up investing and index funds. So you can definitely there's definitely sites and stuff that will allow you to set up an investment index fund. I like to go through Vanguard. Again, I did a 90 stock, 10% bond. I will do another video where I just break through my allocation for my Vanguard and my index funds and how I have that set up. If you guys are interested, I would do a video on that, just breaking down the detail of how I allocate my money, how I choose the different index funds. But I use Vanguard for that because they have the lowest fees for doing index funds. There's 2 different types, that you can do. You can do a target date fund where you go and you set your allocations. And then what the target date funds is, they will always readjust your funds to make sure that it meets whatever allocation you have. But if you want to be a little bit more nerdier, you want to have a little bit more control, you actually like the invested, you're interested in it, you like the numbers, you can set the allocation up yourself and you can check on it every 6 months, once a year, wherever you want to do, whatever system you have in place to go in and make sure that the allocation is matching up where you want the funds to go. But again, I do, index funds, and they're basically just a collaboration of some of the highest producers like dividend funds where you get money back, and the estimate over that is about 8%. Again, that fluctuates. Some say higher, some say lower. But over the life of it's about an average of 8% return that you get on there. So again, index funds is the third thing in there. And then again, this is investing 101. There is absolutely more ways where you can invest your money, where there's a little bit more higher risk investments that you can do with your money. And some that aren't as high risk, that's outside of the traditional, stock investing, outside of your traditional 401k, like real estate and other forms of investing. I'll do a video on that later, just going through some of those other types of investing that you can do. But anyway, this is just a quick tutorial, just an investing 101. How to get started investing, or where you started. I've been getting a lot of questions about this lately, about people wanting to start investing in a Roth IRA, start wanting to invest, how much they should contribute towards their 401k, and then just some questions about index funds. Again, I may do a breakdown each one of these topics individually, because there's definitely a lot more that we can dive into and talk about. But I just wanted to get a high level of where you can kind of start to do some research of if when you get into investing, kind of how you want it set up and how you want to invest that money. Again, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the video, make sure you go ahead and like it. And also, if you like it, go ahead and subscribe. If you have some different ways or some different techniques that you invest your money, or how you allocate your money, I'd love to hear those in the comments below. So drop a comment below. Also, if you guys are if you're still in the process of paying off your debt, or you're wanting to get more information on how to start investing, I am coming out with a investing 101 course where I dive more into these. Again, I'll be putting out some free content as well to go through it, but I'm going to go into a deep dive more into it. So just make sure you click the link down below, download the 7-step debt repayment guide. That way you get on my email list, you get notified when I come out with this, and I'll do another video and stuff whenever I come out with it. But those are some good resources and guides for you to get started. Again, thank you guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.